Assalamu alaikum, grade 7 students. How are you? I hope that you are doing very well. Sorry for being late to upload this video, but I had a problem in my internet connection, so it hasn't been until this day that the internet connection was back and fixed. So, in this video, I will make revision first for the important terms in the first lesson of digestion in human, section 2.4, page 48, that I have sent them to you in my first post, as you told me. So I will repeat the definitions for you, and I hope that you can understand them and memorize them very well. Listen to me. When you watch this video, I need you also to open your book page 48 and follow these definitions. Highlight them from your book if you didn't highlight them yet. Okay? First of all, you know that our food contains or made of large molecules or large food molecules and complex food molecules زي اللي أخدناهم قبل بالدرس الأولاني اللي هم البروتينز والليبيدز والكربوهيدراتس. They are very huge and complex molecules. So our digestive system cannot take them into the blood directly without being digested. شو يعني digestion? شو يعني without being digested? Without being broken down into smaller, simpler molecules. So now you can understand that digestion process is very important and necessary to break down these complex, large, huge food molecules into smaller ones that can easily be absorbed directly into the blood and then transferred into the cells and tissues to make use of them. تمام? So, first of all, let's define digestion is the breaking down of large food molecules into simpler, smaller ones. Okay? طيب. This process happens or takes place where? In which organ system in our body? It happens or takes place in digestive system. As you see from this page or this paper, in the digestive system, it's the organ system which has the job of taking in food and make it available for the rest of the body. Okay? Now, digestion زي ما قلنا the process of breaking down food molecule. Now, في اللي عندنا هلا digestion and ingestion. Now you have to recognize between these two terms, ingestion and digestion. Ingestion, this definition is in the second page, page 48. Highlight this definition, please. Ingestion, it's the act of taking food into the mouth. So when you eat and make the food inside the digestive tract, when the food passes through our digestive tract, this is called ingestion. Okay, so eating food or the act of taking food into our digestive tract, when it passes through the digestive tract, it is called ingested. Now it is ingested. Okay, so ingestion, it's the act of taking food into the mouth. Now digestion is different from ingestion. Recognize between these two terms. Digestion, now when the process of digestion has been completed, some material or some food components, they can't be digested in our digestive system. If you can memorize one of these food materials, we mentioned it in our previous section, which is cellulose. Cellulose is present in the fruits and vegetables, but it can't be digested in our digestive tract because we don't have enzymes to digest cellulose. We as a human, we don't have enzymes to digest cellulose. So cellulose and other materials that can't be digested, they are digested out of our body by a certain process or mechanism out of the anus. The anus is the last part. This is the anus. Now, out of the anus is the last part of the last part of the digestive system in which the undigested food pass out of the body. Okay, this is the process of digestion. Now, all these components, or the digestion process is completed by a specific chemical substances called enzymes. Enzymes are the chemical substances, so highlight the term enzymes from the book. Enzymes are released through the digestive system to digest food, to break down large food molecules into simpler ones, and they are very important. They are called enzymes that we are going to talk about in our second coming lesson. Okay? Now, I summarized for you the stages of the digestion process in this flow chart. I send it to you. This flow chart summarizes the digestion process. The first process of digestion is chewing, which happens in the mouth. Chewing helps in two ways. First, it makes food into small pieces. Okay? It cuts food into small pieces. Also, chewing helps in mixing the food with saliva. Okay? You know saliva, it's the watery liquid. It's the liquid solution in which is secreted by salivary gland in our mouth. Okay? This saliva consists of two components, as you see. Saliva consists of mucus and amylase enzyme. Mucus lubricates the food, while amylase enzyme breaks down starch into simple sugars. Okay? Into simple sugars. So you have to know what are the components of saliva and what is the function for each one. Mucus lubricates the food. Amylase enzyme breaks down starch into sugar. Highlight the term or underline the term or the word starch. If you were asked what is the material that is digested by amylase enzyme or the food molecule which is digested by amylase, it is the starch. Okay? Where does this happen? In the mouth. Where? In the mouth. Okay? Digestion of starch starts in the mouth. تمام؟ هلا نكمل الستيجز اوف digestion. chewing طبعا chewing it happens with the aid of two parts in our mouth اللي هم teeth and tongue. Teeth helps in breaking or cutting down food into smaller pieces, and the tongue helps in mixing, and this is called mechanical digestion. Mechanical because it has movements. Okay, mechanical. The second stage of digestion اللي هي digestion itself اللي هي converting large molecules into smaller one by what? By enzymes again, which are very important chemical substances or molecules that participate in chemical reactions. تمام؟ هلا the third process or the stage of digestion is absorption. Absorption. Now, after these food molecules has been broken down into simpler, smaller forms, they are easily absorbed through the intestine into the blood, okay, where they are carried and distributed to all body parts and cells and tissues. Okay, the last step of digestion زي ما قلنا digestion اللي هي passage of undigested food material out of the anus. Okay, now let's talk about enzymes, the chemical substances which help in digestion. You have to know some important information about enzymes. Look at these notes, please. Enzymes, they are very important proteins. So what is the chemical nature for enzymes? If you were asked about the chemical structure of enzymes, they are proteins. So all enzymes are proteins. All enzymes are proteins. All enzymes are proteins. All enzymes are proteins. You have to know this. وزي ما قلنا بالدرس الأولاني درسنا السابق إنه البروتينز are made of small units called amino acids. شو قلنا عنهم؟ Amino acids are the small units of proteins. And since enzymes are proteins, they have to be made from amino acids as well. تمام؟ Another thing about the enzyme you have to know is it is very specific molecules. Enzymes are very specific. شو يعني specific؟ شو يعني enzymes are very specific؟ Specific يعني إنه they catalyze or they participate in a specific reaction. يعني each enzyme has its own specific reaction that catalyze. تمام؟ شو يعني catalyze؟ يعني complete. يعني complete the reaction making products. Okay? So they are specific. خلينا نشوف شو يعني specific enzyme. طلعوا لي على هذا الفيجر صفحة 49 page 48. Look at this figure please. Figure 4.2. Follow me please with this figure. This is an enzyme that helps in breaking down certain food molecule. Okay? During digestion. طبعا as you see this enzyme is made of smaller units اللي هم الامينو acids. These balls اللي هي colorful balls they represent the amino acids which are the small units of this enzyme. This enzyme as you see has a certain depression or a specific location as you see from this figure or depression. This depression or hole within this enzyme shape is called the active site of the enzyme. The active site within this active site certain molecule which another molecule يعني chemical substance which participate in the reaction as well fits exactly into this shape. ملاحظين إنه the shape of the substrate the shape of the substrate looks like the site of the enzyme. Okay, so it can زي ما انتم شايفين في هذا الشكل it can fit directly and specifically into the shape of the enzymes to form what is called enzyme substrate complex. Enzyme substrate complex. At the end of the reaction, the enzyme is left away. It is not changed during the reaction, so it can undergo or go for another round of the reaction. And a new products are formed زي ما انتم شايفين. The products are completely different in shape and structure and in function from the original substrate which fits into the enzyme. So during any chemical reaction that is done by any enzyme we have four parts. Four things you have to know. طلعوا لي على هاي النوتس. We have an enzyme which has a specific shape زي ما انتم شايفين أنا رسمت لكم إياه كيف شكله هون زي ما انتم شايفينه. It looks like a triangle. Okay. This is the substrate of the enzyme which exactly can fit into its shape, into the enzyme shape, forming the substrate or the enzyme substrate complex. تمام? The enzyme substrate complex, producing what is called the products number 4, and the enzyme is left away to be ready to undergo another reaction. So again, I will repeat, we have enzyme, we have the substrate that fits into the enzyme, we have enzyme substrate complex, we have enzyme ready to undergo another reaction, and we have products which are different from the substrate. تمام؟ آخر شيء you have to know about the enzyme that each enzyme can work perfectly. Each enzyme can work perfectly